Hi, this is Marilen Crump, expert dream catcher, business coach, and mentor, and you're listening to Dream Success Strategy Podcast, where we teach you principles that help you shift your mindset into abundance and create the dreams that you desire. Today, let's talk about the word doubt. Doubt is really the opposite word of dream. And this is something I wrote yesterday. Whoever doubted you never really knew you. Relinquish any hurt you may be holding on to from other people's opinions of you that was not encouraging. Forgive them. Remove their doubts that now echo in your heart that never belonged there in the first place. You deserve to live your dreams. Have you ever looked at the way you react to situations, and especially when it comes to going for your goals and your dreams? I used to have a lot of different things that would swirl in my head, and namely, it would be things that would drain my confidence. I would hear the words that people spoke to me of words of discouragement instead of encouragement when I would say, oh, you know what? I would love to try something like this and turn it into a business. And then people would say, oh, that may not work. And you don't have benefits when it comes to a business like that. How are you going to survive? And that just doesn't seem realistic. And you should really think about doing this instead. Maybe this is going to be a better way for you. I've heard that, when you try a business like that, it really fails. There's not a lot of people who make it in business, etc., etc. Or, oh, that would be scary for me to do something like that, so I'm not really sure that you should do something like that. So those types of language, that kind of discussion would swirl in my head every time I attempted to do something, and it really discouraged me. And for a while, it became a struggle, because one thing about me is I'm pretty bold when it comes to certain things, because I can build my confidence up because I learn things really fast, and I can figure things out. So in a weird way, I've always trusted myself, but then you always want, especially growing up, you wanted validation of your ideas. And I didn't realize back then that the people around me were pretty limited in that arena. And so I saw people as trusted resources when they meant well, but they weren't the resources for me. And one thing you have to do in order to start removing the doubt that swirls in your head and exists in your heart is to find the people who are qualified to give you that encouragement. And it doesn't mean that you get upset at the people who were trying to discourage you, because for all they know, they were actually giving you good advice. Yet you knew down deep in your heart that you were able to achieve something like this, because maybe you've done the research. Maybe you've gotten that really wonderful insight that you would be passionate about that this would be something that you would actually be good at, enjoy, and because of all those factors, really set yourself apart from anybody else who may not want it as badly. And then that would lead to your success. One of the things that I had to change was also the way I spoke about myself. And if I was doubting any of the situation, I had to really look into that and see what my process is. So if you're utilizing the DREAM success strategy, DREAM stands for direction, relinquish, efficiency, action, and momentum. In the part that says relinquish, this is the work that you have to do in order to get rid of the doubts. I tell people that D for direction, pretty simple. It's kind of like your happy place. And then where your bubble starts to get bursted is in moving forward from that direction. And so what we need to do in order to protect our direction is to give ourselves the fortitude of confidence. And how we do that is relinquishing the doubt. And part of the other things that you need to relinquish is the opportunity for other people to even voice their doubts to you. You might already have your own personal doubts. You don't need to add on to it with other people who are doubting you. So if you definitely want to try doing something new, go find new people that know what it is that you are doing. So for me, I have just recently started my YouTube podcast, and some of the, well, YouTube and podcast. So there's two things I'm starting now. And some of the doubt that creeps into my head is, what if no one watches any of this stuff? What if no one listens to this podcast? I don't even know how to get followers organically, or even if that's how you do it. So should I even keep trying? And then, of course, stubborn side says yes, because look, other people are out there doing it. And I say stubborn side because that has been one of the things that I have gripped on very tightly, is that at least I'm stubborn enough to keep going for what I want. Then eventually I'm going to break through something. It's kind of like, water is pretty stubborn, right? Like, meaning if you let something get too much water, it's eventually going to erode whatever it is it's landing on. So I could be a kind of a force to be reckoned with if I'm consistent, and I use that stubbornness to keep me consistent. So to me, it's not a bad word when it's going to build you up enough to get you through the doubt, like break through the doubt. And so part of the things that I'm relinquishing is the lack of effort for creating these podcasts and video posts for the YouTube. I'm also relinquishing maybe a little bit of time that I would have spent watching other people's YouTubes and listening to other people's podcasts. So I'm saying, in order for me to do what I'm supposed to do, I need to put those things on pause and really delve deeply in there, so that when I'm creating the time to do so, I'm becoming more efficient. And so when I'm more efficient, then I can produce more things, meaning I can definitely act on what I'm talking about. So back to the relinquishing part. Is there anything else that Marilen has for relinquish when it comes to the new direction of the YouTube and podcasts? I need to relinquish maybe some of the early morning sleeping, snoozing in, because I have 5 kids and a busy household. I have my normal workload as well, and then clients I need to help. So this time in the morning is really the best thing for me when it comes to recording these things in the quiet, and then I'm not disturbing anybody. But then also too, my mind is a little bit more clear. So I've already laid out the path before me for the day. I've already kind of taken care of a few little things, and then now here I am working on this stuff. So that kind of blends in with the efficiency. And to me, that's pretty awesome. Now, the efficiency part is listing all the different topics, making sure that I have things written out, that I've thought them through, so that when I do this, it's very natural. I'm not reading from a script. I will read a little bit of a bullet point that I might have put down so that I don't forget anything. But one of the things that really has made me efficient at this is that for the past, I don't even know, maybe 12 years, or maybe, no, wait, 2010 or 2019. Yeah, so about 10 years now, I have been hosting a free power talk, and that has given me a platform to be able to learn how to speak a little bit more clearly, watch the things that I say before I say it, and really speak from the heart instead of being nervous about, letting the words come out. And I also started a live broadcast of that. So things were becoming taped, and I've been doing that for a little bit of time, probably close to a year. Again, giving me a lot of practice so that I can be efficient when it comes to taping this. So don't underestimate the power of practice when it comes to you going for your goals, because something that you may have been working on for free is now going to give you the boost that you need in order to execute the stuff that you're working on now. So I'm so glad that I've done that power talk for years. I always said, hey, it's just something that I want to give kind of a ministry and then help other people during that. But here it is, it's solidifying my actions. So when I deliver this type of message, it is hopefully as clear as possible, that I'm confident when I'm doing it, that I feel inspired to receive the right words to let out of my mouth, And then that will build the right kind of momentum. And when you build momentum, that's when the things come into play that you really want. So if I said I want followers and people to really hear this message, well then of course, because the things are building up towards that point, and it's going to just echo, and I'm not going to have to work too hard at releasing the message and for people to receive it. And that's when you know that you've hit true momentum. So I hope this helps you today. Remember that there are going to be people out there who will not doubt you, who will support you, who will encourage you. So I definitely ask that you seek them out. And if nothing else, try to read books that feel good to you and let out the frustration through peaceful ways, if that makes sense. Because if you have peace, then it's easier for you to also relax and take the next step. My name is Marilen, and it was a pleasure speaking to you today. If you want to hear more about what I do, feel free to search me under the hashtag Expert Dream Catcher. You can also join us in the DSSC, which I call the Dream Success Strategy Community. That's where we are able to delve more deeply into this, and I can guide you, and you have questions, I can answer that for you, and then you get to meet other like-minded people who will not doubt you, who will encourage you. So until next time, I hope that you take the right steps towards your dreams and that you remain as peaceful as possible.